Hey guys, welcome back to Free to Grow. Today's video we're dealing with a whole chicken. We're on our third year. This will be our third year that we've raised our own meat birds on pasture, and it's become our primary source of protein that we raise out here on our homestead. That maybe and eggs, which we eat our farm fresh eggs every day. So chickens are really what's providing for us on a daily basis, and it's kind of what got us started. We got started with a few egg layers, and then quickly went right into raising some meat birds on pasture. And in this adventure, and a lot of times we talk to people and they seem intimidated by using a whole chicken, cooking with a whole chicken. Anymore, people are just so used to buying boneless chicken breast or chicken thighs or chickens that are already broke down. That's how they purchase them from the grocery. And even if you're not raising your own chickens, you can certainly save some money by buying a whole chicken at the grocery store and breaking it down yourself. So here I'm just doing something we do all the time. I mean, we eat, I'd say, at least a whole chicken a week. And when we pull one out, the first thing I do is break it down. If I'm not going to roast it whole, I'll break it down. And I start by removing the backbone, and then I take off the wings, and I take off the leg quarters, and typically I'll use I'll debone the breast, and that's what I'm doing right here. I'm filleting our breasts off of the breastbone, and we'll usually get 2, sometimes 3 different meals from a whole chicken, and just kind of depends what we're in the mood for. But a lot of times, if I'm going to break down a chicken like this, the first day I'll roast the bone-in parts. I'll do the drumsticks, thighs, and wings, and I'll either just roast them in the oven, or I'll throw them on the grill. And then I'll typically just put the boneless breasts in the refrigerator until we get to them later on in the week, or decide what we want to do with them. So most important part when you're doing this kind of stuff at home is to just really have a good knife, have a really good sharp knife. Doesn't have to be an expensive knife, it just has to be a sharp knife, and that will make the process easier, more enjoyable, and it's actually safer. It's a lot safer to use a sharp knife rather than a dull knife. Even if you end up cutting yourself with the sharp knife, the cut's usually cleaner and will heal better, heal easier. So I always just suggest have a good knife. Doesn't have to be an expensive knife, but keep a nice sharp knife in the kitchen. Here I've got a couple little wings. We roast our wings whole. We don't break them down, but that would be a little drummy and a flat if you separated them. And another benefit of using a whole chicken is that you'd end up with so much more than just buying a package of boneless breasts. So we get to make a batch of bone broth every time we break down a chicken, and typically we do. And we'll just right there I've got the carcass, the backbone that I had removed, and the wing tips, any other little bits I trimmed off, and I'll just straight away put those into the crock pot. We keep feet and heads and stuff from butchering day, and we'll throw those into the bone broth as well. Right here I'm doing up a basic chicken rub. It's a recipe I found online. I imagine if you Google chicken rub, it's probably one of the first ones that comes up, but it's pretty standard. There's the Roomba. The Roomba is always at my feet. Whenever I'm doing stuff like this, the Roomba seems to want to clean where I'm at. This rub is brown sugar, salt, paprika, garlic, onion, some herbs. Pretty basic, and we'll just do a batch up in a jar and keep it around. We don't do too much ahead of time, maybe enough to do 3 different batches of chicken, and it's just nice to be able to grab it out and throw some dry rub on and get some meat grilling, or roasting in this case. So I usually just break down the chicken in a large roasting pan. I love using as little dishes as possible, And if I break the chicken down in this, then I can just use it to roast my chicken in and not have to worry about all the cleanup later. Right here, I'm just separating the drumstick from the thigh. You don't have to do that. We like to do that. That way you can, maybe some days we'll just eat a thigh for lunch and throw the drumsticks back in the refrigerator. Sometimes we pull them out for a different meal or a snack and put them in the air fryer to reheat. So Lizzie's helping me. We're just going to rub these down with that chicken rub we did. Just kind of sprinkle some on. I'm pretty generous with it. And then pat it on, coat all the sides. And we'll just put this in the oven. I roast my chicken at 425 degrees for about 50 minutes. It seems to always get it. It's always cooked through, but it also has a nice crispiness to the skin. And if I'm going to do it on the grill, pretty much the same. I have a grill I can set the temperature. I set it to about 400, and same thing, about 45 minutes. I'll just turn the chicken more when I'm doing it on the grill. When I roast in the oven, I pretty much just throw it in the oven, and that's it. So don't be intimidated by a whole chicken. It's fun. You know. Oh, yeah, there's part of the fun part right there. Some necks or heads or feet so I'm pulling. Some of those are frozen from butchering day. We just bag those up together and then the ugly head and pull those out as we need them and throw them into the bone broth. They just help make a nice collagen-rich bone broth. And we just use filtered water from our Berkey. So I'll put in as much chicken bits as I am going to use. I'll add some water. We always put a little bit of apple cider vinegar in there. It helps pull the collagen out, extract the collagen. We use salt, some whole peppercorn. We'll put in some herbs. We use fresh herbs or dried herbs that we've grown, typically some thyme, parsley, a little bit of rosemary. We chop some carrots, or if you have bits of carrots and celery and stuff left throughout the week, we'll throw those in there. That's some frozen celery we grew, I think, 2 years ago. So a lot of times when I'm going through bone broth, I'll pull stuff that we had in the freezer from the garden and throw that into the bone broth. Put a little onion in there, garlic in there, and then we just set our slow cooker on low for 8 hours. The one that we have kicks into warm mode after that, so we're never really too concerned when we get the bone broth going. Sometimes we just strain it the next morning and put it in the fridge. Chicken came out looking great. Liz is whipping up a little salad, and she's been mixing up her own salad dressing lately too, with just some kind of like an Italian herb blend with some oil and vinegar, lemon juice. Here I am. Yeah, I'm straining the bone broth already. This must be the next day. And I just put a small strainer inside a regular colander, and just to catch anything, any of the herbs or any little bits that might fall from the crock pot. And I usually get to rinsing that stuff right out just to keep any of the chicken fat and the grease down in the sink. And I let it cool a little bit before I put it into jars to go into the fridge. If I'm not going to let it cool, I'll have to warm those jars up, because you just never want to put hot liquid into a cold jar. You'll end up with a cracked jar. And, as much as we try to keep dishes down, there's always dishes. So dishes is just a part of the lifestyle. You just got to go with it. Thankfully, Lizzie was in the dishes mood, but it's just always amazing to me how many dishes we create. And if I think of the trade-off of having to do dishes or eating my food from styrofoam boxes, I'll choose what we're doing any day of the week. Lizzie's washing one of our stainless steel dishes. We've got some stainless steel plates and small saucer plates, and we are really liking those. I think I'd like to add more of those to our dish collection. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It means so much to us. And leave a comment below. Say hi. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.